All right. This is a hectic plane to get going. It's the only one I have to take to the field in pieces because it's just so big. So I've had this one for about 3 years. I've never made a video of it. FlightLine TigerCat with my unique and crappy paint job. All stock, running Turnigy Graphene 2700 4-cell, and then on the second flight I'll have a HobbyStar 4600 pack. So here goes. This isn't like the things I typically fly. This is just a huge, majestic beast of a plane. And I've had it for about 3 years, but I honestly haven't flown it that much because it's kind of a pain to get to the field. Every flight takes 2 packs, and although it will stay in the air for a really long time on those 2 packs, I don't know. She's got some vertical, but not unlimited. Kick that rudder, let her fall. But it is just an absolute pussycat to fly. On the 4600s, I can probably scrape 10 minutes out of it, which I won't do because, well, my eyes get tired, but you know how it is. I'm gonna do a real low pass here. See if I can hold my nerve in the turn. And power up and through. She's got the thrust for some quick vertical, but not unlimited. I've never used flaps on this plane. I've never needed them. It slows down so well without flaps that it's just... Kick her around. And it's pretty agile too. You get that rudder involved and it's just such a huge control surface, and it's got that enormous prop wash that she'll do what you want pretty quick. You just got to watch out for a little bit of slippage in the turns. She'll drop some altitude, so you just got to be ready for it. Counteract with some rudder. But look at this, I can whip this thing around and it is not a small plane. I set the timer for 5 minutes on the 2700s. That won't use it all, but I probably won't go around again if I land it. I'll probably switch to the 4600s. Let's see if we can get some trim done here. I don't know if we can or not, but let's try it. It's not perfect. I have some warpage in the rudder. It's kind of making it tough to get trimmed, but it's good enough. You can just cut that power. Come by real slow. And then just power out. No problem. I did that horrible paint job for orientation, and it's not really helping that much. Alright, so there's my 1 minute warning. Let me wander this way a little bit. I think my wind is just a hair out of the south. I'm going to put the gear down. Check it out. Oh. Alright, I see 3 wheels. That was a little rougher than what I wanted. I wasn't quite as quick on the elevator as I should have been. That's on me. Still not bad. A little rough, but she'll handle it. This would be a really interesting model to program in like differential thrust. I may try it just to see if I can figure out the mixes. Or I may not. It's just such a good model on its own. I hope this video turns out, because that was a really good flight. Look at the size of those flaps too. I should try them out. I'll try them out next flight. What do you think of that? I wasn't quite as quick on the elevator as I wanted on the landing, but it still wasn't bad. I got one more pack to run through this.
Just fly the red jet.
Oh.
Since this is going to be a
Okay. Well, then I'm going to keep the video rolling. Here's the HobbyStars, and I've said on the forums a few times, it's really interesting how these HobbyStar packs, the 4600 4-cells, are a true 4600, and they're not that much bigger. They're actually not bigger at all. They're the same size as these Graphene 2700s, and they're about the same weight too. So if you can get your hands on some of these, you can even see it in the camera. These are really good for like low amp draw 4-cell setups like this guy here. I wouldn't treat it like a true 35C because it's not, but it might be a 20C, who knows. So anyway, let's get this going. Okay. Oops, no, let's do it the other way. Let's do bottom first, because that shows you how little I've ever flown this plane, is I don't really have any best practices in place for how to get the batteries in and out, all that stuff. So kind of some trial and error. Not a ton of room to work in here, but there is a lot of battery space, which I do like. Not on the top side necessarily, but the bottom side you could definitely fit a 5000 in there pretty easily. Oh, and if you do buy these HobbyStar packs, make sure you specify the right plug. Don't be an idiot like I am and have to use these sketchy connectors. Alright, took these cables. 1, 2. Alright. And after a 5-minute flight, these packs are sitting probably not anywhere near even storage voltage, although I could be wrong about that. Oh, look at that. 385s all around. Exactly what I wanted. So you guys go back in there. You can sit up on the car. Don't blow away. Ah, thank you. Alright, so the 4600s, if I don't go crazy, I could go for 10 minutes. I don't want to do that. I may go a little crazy, but I want to try some flaps operations here too. You hear that impact when it goes up? I need to reduce that a little bit. It's hitting. That may be Putting some wear on the servos. These stock landing gear are a little, I don't want to say they're cheap because they may be strong, but they're very, very rigid. There's no suspension there. And so that may be an upgrade anybody wants to do. If you're not too great at landing, give her a shot. Alright, HobbyStar 4600s. She's getting a little squirrely on me, but that's okay. Trim out, punk. There we go. She's no speed demon, but oh well. That rudder is so warped. I don't know how that happened, but I'm going to come stand over here. I'm going to circle around like I'm going to land, except I won't put the gear down, and I'll give her half flaps and we'll see what happens. Alright, low power, half flaps, nose is coming up. Need a mix. Need a big mix. She'll slow down though. Flaps up. And that may be a function of the prop wash too. So I'm going to take her up a little higher. I'll cut power completely and give her some flaps and see how we do. Alright, real low power here. Half flaps is on. Power is off. Don't stall, don't stall, don't stall. Ooh, look at that. And then as soon as that prop comes on, it noses up again. So yeah, that's a function of the prop wash, which an elevator mix will definitely fix with a very small percentage. This plane is a lot more agile than something this size you would think it is. Whip her around. Whip her back around. Whee! And the thrust is always there to pull you out if you make a mess of it. And then you can just cut power and she'll cruise, man. Wind's picking up on me, may mess up my audio a little bit. I haven't invested in a better camera yet. Sorry. Power! I'm really surprised that the wings can take the strain of how I'm flying, because the fuselage itself doesn't really have any weight to it, but the motor pods do. And that is a lot of wing strain, so those are some good strong wings. I know it's got a carbon fiber rod in there, but not a big one. There's one front thicker and one rear thinner, but they're not big rods. And for a wing this size, that's really surprising. But this is an absolute pussycat to fly. No problem whatsoever. I think if it, you know, there's obviously the price factor and the size factor, but if you could put those out of your mind, a beginner, not a beginner, but an intermediate pilot could take this thing up. It'd be a really good plane to buddy box on to kind of get the big plane jitters out. And power, and up, and spin her on around. Oh, I don't like that orientation. Wow, that was not pleasant. There's just that couple seconds where it could be turning the other way, and I don't like it. Power up. Roll around. I may try a flaps landing this time. I don't know if I will or not with that, without setting up the elevator mix first. I would really want to get that dialed in. Oh, that's my timer.